From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for complete Marshall University news. You're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this first edition of MU Report 2019. I'm Kara Biscarner.
And I'm Olivia Zarilla. We are a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University. We air this broadcast not only on West Virginia Public Broadcasting, but also on YouTube. Now, on to our top story.
The new semester is well underway, and it always makes for both exciting and anxious moments. Marshall students are now looking ahead to midterm exams in less than a month, and they're settling comfortably into routines. As Larry Lonstein Jr. reports, that excitement and anxiety about the school year go hand in hand.
The start of any semester at Marshall is an exciting time, but full of anxiety. Some of it disappears when students settle into their classes, but all of them have goals they want to accomplish.
Things are different here because back at my home country I had a little bit different system of education, so I'm still getting used to the new technology used, the new methods used for the education system.
I wish to get my graduate degree now in engineering, environmental engineering, and maybe continue to do my PhD.
Time management is not easy for those carrying a heavy class load in certain programs or in graduate school. Some are involved in outside activities.
I don't sleep. That gives me time to go see my friends and do homework, so it works so far.
So I make sure before I go out to party or do anything, I pretty much complete 50% of my work, sometimes 70% before I go out.
I'm part of the Secular Student Alliance, but other than that, I'm not really doing anything.
When one starts a new semester at Marshall University, there is many anxious moments. But as the old saying goes, hope springs eternal. Larry Lonstein Jr., MU Report.
Among students' biggest worries in 2019 and every semester is the rising cost of higher education. Students say the state must contribute more, not less, if a college degree is going to be within reach. Administrators say they're trying to keep costs down by limiting tuition increases and marketing Marshall more visibly. Marshall students face the same uncertain future that all college students face: mounting debt and starting salaries too low for repayment. Administrators more money in this year's legislature. They're also doubling up on those recruiting efforts.
Still, even with the best planning, tuition is usually a major factor when choosing which university to attend, and that often means many students don't explore out-of-state options. For those who do come from out of state, however, picking Marshall is sometimes more cost-effective than schools in their own home states.
For some students, returning to campus after break means a short drive from visiting nearby family, but for many others, that travel time is much longer. In the fall of 2017, out-of-state students accounted for 19% of the more than 13,000 students attending Marshall University, with the cost of other universities factoring into the decision.
I'm from New Jersey. New Jersey in-state tuition is roughly 50 to 60 grand for most schools, compared to Marshall's 30 to 20 grand depending on certain variants. So it was a clear choice which one was cheaper. That's one of my main reasons, of course.
And while tuition costs are important, many out-of-state students say that it wasn't their only factor in choosing Marshall University.
I wanted a university that was out of state just to kind of get away from home for a little bit. Not that I don't love my mom, I just wanted to get away for a little bit. And then that also wouldn't be too expensive and would be in a nice area with very friendly people.
In addition to the sense of community Marshall provides, many students say academics and opportunities for campus involvement played a role in choosing Marshall, and that being an out-of-state student provides insight into other students' backgrounds and teaches others about the school.
I have many students asking me about the university and how I like it and what is the engineering program like. So I actually had a few of my friends apply here at Marshall.
I think it's definitely beneficial to have students of different ethnic groups and different orientations from where they're from, especially in an area like this. You get an idea of what everyone else was adjusted to when everyone learns from each other's experiences.
And those experiences not only give students the opportunity to meet new people, but provide exposure for Marshall.
And it is one thing to leave home for college after a student's made the choice. The culture shock, the homesickness, the financial issues. But imagine what that decision's like when home is halfway around the world. Ando is herself an international student, and she has this report on a few of the challenges international students face.
Language differences are only a host of challenges international students face when they come to study at Marshall. There are a lot more things to deal with. In the fall semester of 2017, Marshall University was home to about 600 international students, which make up about 4.6% of the student body. They come from all over the world to Marshall's INTO program. So home is literally all over the world.
I came to Marshall in wintertime, so the weather is really cold in here.
Also, I don't have anyone to talk to. At home, it gets boring. I feel lonely. I feel I'm left alone in this world.
I'm not very good in English, and the professor said very fast, and maybe when I heard what he said, I need to think about it.
In Marshall University, and INTO organizers know how difficult it is to be here, and so always make it the smoothest transition they can.
So INTO Marshall provides a lot of activities to bring students together from all over the campus. We have game nights, we have movie nights, just to get people interacting together and getting to know each other in a social way. It helps them actually in the end with their studies because they feel connected to other people here.
Currently, Marshall welcomes students from 25 countries, including China, Vietnam, Panama, India. So even as Marshall recruiters look close to home for more students, they have opened their offices in Ohio, Texas, New Jersey. They are also casting a much larger net all over the world. Ando, MD report.
It's the case every year at this time that education is top of mind in the West Virginia capital, and among the most controversial is that lawmakers are again considering turning college campuses into conceal and carry zones. Marshall administrators oppose the move that allows firearms on campus, but many lawmakers support it. Marshall's president and police chief were in the Capitol recently trying to persuade supporters to change their minds. MU Report will keep you posted on this sensitive subject.
You're watching MU Report, a student newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. We'll be right back.
For 175 years, Marshall University has served students who appreciate the value of higher education and its importance to quality of life. From pharmacy to philosophy, from biotechnology to business, Marshall is opening new worlds of opportunity for those seeking to make a difference. We are strong, we are growing, and together we are Marshall.
The William Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications has been a part of Marshall University's history since 1926. Today, the school offers 7 degree programs including advertising, radio and television production, sports reporting, public relations, and broadcast, online, and print journalism. SOJMC prepares students for the opportunities and challenges of the industry. Professional-oriented courses as well as hands-on learning environments help students gather real-world experience before stepping out into their field of choice. And with a vast variety of student-run clubs and organizations, students always have the chance to better their skills. The W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications combines classroom and hands-on learning environments to provide students with the background necessary for future employment in the field of mass communications, and continues today to produce award-winning content through a variety of majors.
I am ready to do all that I can. I can reach new heights, go farther than I have. I am a son, I am a daughter of Marshall. I am driven to succeed, skilled and destined to lead. I'm part of a community, even more than that, a family. I am motivated to make it, to show the world all I can be. I am a son, I am a daughter of Marshall.
Welcome back. I'm Olivia Zarilla.
And I'm Kara Biscarner. Now, our next story. It's Black History Month in America, and Marshall is celebrating with activities and conversations all month long. What many don't realize is the founder of Black History Month actually spent a great deal of time teaching in Huntington. Carter G. Woodson even has a resident scholar at Marshall, Professor Bernice Morris, who has written an authoritative book on the subject. Black history organizers say this year is even more important for two reasons. It's the 400th anniversary of the American slave trade, and it's a time in the country's politics when race and differences have been weaponized instead of celebrated.
Emmy Report's last story of the show is inspirational. See, college is difficult for every student, but for some, a mental or physical disability can make the experience even harder. Fortunately, there's a group of students aiming to bring awareness to that very issue while also assisting those involved.
Most people would say they're inconvenienced when they have to do things such as wake up earlier to style their hair or take the stairs when they miss the elevator. But what if they were completely unable to perform those activities?
I think it's important because, they're students too. They're just like us, they may have a disability that some people don't have, but getting people to realize that, they're just like us is good because they deserve the same kind of opportunities.
That's the same thought Kayla Santain had when she began Herd of Love, an organization focused on disability awareness and created in honor of Santain's friend, who was shot and paralyzed when they were 14.
I became more involved in actually figuring out what being disabled actually meant, and more so to actually see him go through the process of suicidal thoughts, actually have to restart life. That kind of made me interested and wanted to focus on recognizing and just taking the initiative to actually, being so young, take the time and still understand that they have a life as well.
While the goal of Herd of Love is to allow people with disabilities the opportunity to be involved with campus and get out of their rooms, the group also does various volunteer work, such as helping in homeless shelters and food drives, working with disabled veterans, and having people on call to assist people with disabilities through the icy weather.
In addition to assisting the community through volunteer work, members of Herd of Love also recognize people with disabilities by sending gifts to nominees who might struggle with the things that we take for granted, like being able to play with your pet. Esther, go get it.
The goal for that is to actually send them a certificate and like a little goodie bag with that certificate, so everybody wins.
And for people who are not nominated or whose disability prevents them from attending an event, the group is willing to go to those who reach out rather than the person coming to the group.
I don't want to cross that line to make them feel uncomfortable. They're going through this whole new stage of life, so it's just more so understanding them and respecting them.
And in order to spread that understanding and respect further, Santain says she has plans for the group to host a disability awareness fair.
Organizers say the fair is specifically dedicated to people with disabilities will underscore the importance of accommodating them. And at the very least, organizers say the fair should at least start the conversation they hope will lead to better understanding.
I think it's really good that Marshall has a program like this to help students with disabilities.
I agree with you. I think it's something that other college campuses should see and should pick up on, and I hope their fair goes well.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Emmy Report. Our newscast is completely generated by students in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Emmy Report is a television lab, and we are glad you're watching. You can always catch this newscast on YouTube, and be sure to follow our reporters on Twitter and Emmy Report on Facebook. Our advisor is Dr. Christopher Swindell. Reach him with comments at swindell@marshall.edu. I'm Kara Biscarner.
And I'm Olivia Zarilla. Thank you and have a great day.